Eh bien, nous sommes sur le plateau d'Informatique News au Palais des Congrès pour la conférence Point Next On Paris de Nutanix, et je suis en compagnie de Rajiv Ramaswami, qui est CEO de Nutanix. Rajiv Ramaswami, good afternoon, because this is afternoon. Thank you for accepting our invitation. In this keynote this morning, well, first of all, how do you feel being back in Paris? Because the last .next was 4 years ago. So how does it feel to be back in Paris, .next in Paris?
Yeah. First of all, great to be on the show with you. It's fantastic to be back here, live, our first live event here in Paris in 4 years. And it's great to see the energy. It's just, the right time. COVID's done. The business is doing well. Hybrid multi-cloud is here. Our customers are doing great with us. So it's just absolutely the right time to be here. And it's great to see this audience of like 1,500 plus people here at the show.
Well, because you remember last time we talked, you were in San Francisco. We were still in COVID time, so it feels good to be here.
Absolutely. I remember doing that by Zoom. And look at this. We are here live, and it's wonderful.
Okay. So this morning in the keynote, you mentioned two principle very strongly. The first one is run everywhere, and the other one is unified multi-cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Run everywhere, I mean, it reminds me something, remember in 1995 or maybe earlier with the Sun Microsystem talking about that. What's the difference now?
Yeah, I think we're talking about applications and data. When companies are going digital, it's all about these apps and data. The key, though, is those apps and data run everywhere. And that's the run everywhere component of it, right? Because your apps are sitting in data centers, they're sitting in the public cloud, multiple public clouds. Some of them are running in edge and remote locations. And the same goes with the data. Data is being generated and consumed everywhere. And so that's what we really mean by run everywhere. You're going to be running your apps everywhere and managing your data across all of these different environments.
But the thing is, you mentioned also a poll with a customer, and almost all of them, they move their infrastructure from one place to another one.
Correct.
But a lot of them said it's very complex and difficult and very expensive. So what do you do to help them?
Yeah, and this is the advantage of having a single platform that's available everywhere. Because now when you move from one place to the other, let's say you move from your data center to the public cloud or from one public cloud to another, it's very easy. It's a simple move operation that can be done with one click versus something very complex where you have to go refactor your applications or work on the applications to make that move. So having a single platform that can be used anywhere simplifies this whole process of migrating infrastructure in a very dramatic way.
So Nutanix started as a company launching the idea of HCI.
That's right.
Hyper-convergence. And then you moved to multi-cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the customer are not only ready for it, but they know that you are offering all this, and you're not what you were at the beginning of the company?
Yes. Actually, to your point, most people know of Nutanix as a hyper-converged pioneer. We pioneered hyper-converged, and people know of us from that legacy and that history. It's a good history. Now, I think, to your point, we are, like shows like .next here, really is all about building the awareness among our customers and partners that we are much more than HCI today. Today, we are truly a hybrid multi-cloud company that can help companies manage these applications across all of these different locations. And I'd agree with you that this is our time to build that awareness in our customer base, and that's why events like this help. And we're glad to be here to do that. So, to your point, I think today Nutanix has got a much broader appeal as a strategic vendor and partner to many of our customers, because as they care about these applications, they care about going digital. It's much more than HCI. It's about their most strategic things. How are they going to modernize their applications? How are they going to go do AI, for example? How do they make best use of the public clouds? So today we can help them with all of these problems, much more so than being just an infrastructure provider for HCI.
This morning also you mentioned two things. You mentioned application avalanche and data explosions.
Yes.
It doesn't look very nice. And it gives the idea of the infinite world. but we are living in a finite world. And also you mentioned freedom of choice. And, on the other end, there is the idea of a lock-in. Most vendors are trying to do that either on a technical basis or a financial. How do you solve these two tension between these two things?
By the way, our way of getting lock-in with customers is if customers love us and want to use us forever. That's how we would like customers to be locked in, not be forced to lock them in because of technical constraints or licensing constraints or any of that. Okay, so the whole point about Nutanix is, we obsess about our customers' success. And what customers want is simplicity. They want freedom from being locked in. At the same time, they want the flexibility to be able to run stuff wherever they like to run it. And so we provide them that capability by giving them choices at every layer in the stack so that they can mix and match, they can pick their partners of choice and work together to build something that works for them as opposed to something that we dictate.
In the journey to the multi-cloud, it's obvious that you have to deal with these all vendors, the public cloud vendors. And they are huge companies. I mean, AWS, Google, and Microsoft. And you're, pretty big company, but not as big. How do you think you're going to manage to deal with them in the long term?
Yeah, so we play in a land of giants, as we like to say, but we bring unique value and perspective that adds to what every one of those big cloud companies do. I mean, you saw from here, for example, Microsoft is a partner of ours, and they were here. And why? Because they see the value of working together with a company like us, because we can help bring these enterprise workloads to the public cloud in an easy way. So together, we can achieve what the customer wants. The customer wants to have an easy way to operate across multiple clouds. And it is in Microsoft's best interest, for example, to be partnering with us to enable customers to do what they want. The other thing is customers are going hybrid, right? And public cloud vendors are now realizing that hybrid is real. Not everything is going to be in their own public cloud. There's going to be some in other clouds and some on-prem. And so by partnering with us, you get the best of both, right? We can enable this hybrid strategy to be realized for these customers and at the same time benefit the public cloud providers. So what we do, therefore, is to create value to our customers that makes it easy and makes sense for public cloud providers to work together with us. In fact, this whole Azure offering was a joint development between Microsoft and us.
Nutanix is an American company. These big vendors, cloud vendors, are American company, and we're in Europe. We're talking more and more about the sovereign cloud.
Yes.
What are your plans to deal with that in the near future?
So we recognize the importance of data sovereignty. Data needs to be protected, private, and not be sourced outside of country borders, I should say. And so to do that, I think the key thing here is that there are local managed service providers in each of these countries that we work with to ensure that they can create local cloud environments within countries that result in sovereignty. So, for example, today we have a partnership with OVH here in France, and they're building a sovereign cloud, and they deliver cloud services using our software. So our approach fundamentally is partner with local managed service providers, get them to build cloud offerings with our software that can be used to build sovereign clouds.
So it means that in each European countries, well, let's talk about UK, Germany, and France, and a few others, you're going to partnership with the local cloud vendors. That's your plan?
Absolutely. So phase number one is, of course, local cloud vendors. Phase number two, some of the large public cloud providers are also talking about building their own sovereign clouds in region. And we will continue to partner. For example, Microsoft had talked about building sovereign clouds. And we already have an offering with Azure, and over time, perhaps it could be made available in a sovereign format. So both.
Last question, and of course we have to talk about it. You announced not long ago GPT in a box, and we have to talk about AI.
Of course,
that's a must.
Of course.
Could you explain a little bit what's GPT in a box, and is this already available, or is this when it's going to be used by the customers?
Yeah. First of all, GPT in a box is available here and now today.
Okay.
And what it is very simple. AI applications are going to be run where the data resides. And we talked a lot about data sovereignty, for example. But not all data will be in the public cloud. There's a lot of talk about AI in the public cloud, of course. But data is going to be located in many places, and the most sensitive data is probably going to be located on premises. With GPT in a box, we can run these AI algorithms, large language models, where the data is located, which could be on-prem, which could be in the edge locations. And so it's a simple, turnkey way for companies to build and run AI applications wherever the data resides.
So that means that you're going to offering all these LLM solutions, different ones. Could you mention them? Or?
So we provide the infrastructure on top of which customers can bring their own LLM models, whether it be proprietary models like OpenAI or whether it be open source models like Llama. They can bring their own LLM models, but we provide all the underlying infrastructure and machine learning toolkits that are needed to get these LLM models and the AI applications on top of them to be run in a very easy way.
So this AI will be used mostly for application, or it could be used for infrastructure as well?
Well, so people will use AI for different reasons. First, I think almost all applications over time are going to incorporate some form of AI or not. That's a bold long-term prediction. But so a lot of it is just creating new applications that can do things like automation, make things more efficient, for example, for companies. So that's one, right? But then companies like us also look at how can AI be used to make our products better. And so that's, again, more of an internal view on products, right? And how can we use that to do, for example, better service to our customers? So there's going to be a range of AI use cases. Some of them are going to be new application capabilities, and the others are going to be how to enhance capabilities that companies already have.
So it's, as we can see, it's a very beginning of it, but can you mention some company who are doing the role beta tester in that with
yeah,
solutions?
we've got actually a few companies that have already adopted our GPT in a box. I can't give you the names yet, but the applications I can tell you fall into roughly these 4 categories. First is customer service. The second is document analysis, document search, document analysis, data extraction from documents. That's the second. The third is around fraud detection, whether it be financial services, whether it be retail, enhanced fraud detection. And the fourth is co-piloting. Co-piloting where the AI algorithms it becomes an assistive mechanism to help people. For example, you could be a software developer and it's helping you generate software that you can use, right, without you having to code it. You could be a tester and it's helping you generate test cases, for example. You could be a pharmaceutical researcher and it's helping you with that research. So co-piloting is another useful form. So these are the 4 that we see people using generative AI for.
Well, so this is for today, but I'm sure tomorrow there will be a lot of them.
Oh, I'm sure there's going to be more. Right? This is just what we see as a snapshot of today's use cases.
Is it too early to talk about results, or can you mention some?
Yeah, I think the key thing here is about making these AI algorithms work for your use cases with high accuracy, which is why you have to take these models that have been trained on generic data sets, but really focus on getting them to be fine-tuned with your own data so that you can get useful results. And so there's a lot of iterative training that's required and fine-tuning that's required to get good results before you can deploy everything in production. And I think a lot of companies today are experimenting with getting this right before they put stuff into production.
Well, we can see it's a very beginning of that journey, a long journey, so I'm sure we will have the opportunity to talk about it.
Absolutely, yes.
Rajiv Ramaswami, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.